Welcome to ExpressTime Solutions Tutorials. Today I'd like to share with you the manager's view from our ExpressTime Mobile App. As a manager out in the field, it is very crucial for them to be able to log in, to be able to check time, to check employees, make sure they are where they say they are, and also make sure that every shift is covered by the end of the night. As they log in, they're able to see that these are the buildings that they are a manager over. They're able to see their employees, who is actually in and who is actually still waiting to fulfill a shift. At this time, if they do have any discrepancies that need to be corrected, they can do that from here by editing the time, by just clicking the edit button and simply editing the time that an employee might have missed on their punch in or punch out. Also, if you have a schedule for your manager, they'll be able to clock in and out themselves. They're able to do that from here, so you can have true budgets that are correct within each building that you have budgeted in an earlier video of ExpressTime to know how much supervision management is put into each building. They also are able to clock into drive time to where you know how much is on the road, and also unscheduled services. If they're at a place that they do not have a schedule for, they're able to clock in still, and it goes toward the time in that building that you have budgeted. Under the Buildings tab, they're able to look very quickly and see their buildings that they are a manager over. They can also click on All Buildings and also help your other managers out in the field if they needed help one night for any extra management. Under My Buildings, I'm going to come over and we're going to look at a building. What I can do with this building, I can find out your basic building information. I can see the notes about the building, what's been going on, check out alarm codes if I need to log into for alarm codes. I can come over and see my contacts, who's the supervisors, the weekly planner, and then today what the schedule is, who's supposed to be there. I can also call if I need to call somebody at this location to find out some information. I can order supplies by just touching the supply order delivery bus. And at that moment, it will bring up what supplies are approved for this building. So you don't order stuff you don't need. It can also put any other instructions, and this will send a notification to the person you have in charge of supply ordering and delivery. They also can view the task schedules, what's supposed to be done on what days and how often in each building. And then they can see a map on how to get there if they're looking at where they are, trying to find a new route to getting there. If they need to contact any of their employees while they're out in the field, they are able to call their employees at this on the Employee tab and be able to find out information. If they do need to go in and find out a little more information about who that employee might, where they might be working later, they're able to come in and find employee information in this app and look at their schedule for the day, maybe their weekly planner, and also their building list of all the buildings that they have either worked in or have a schedule in. Under the More's tab, they can look at employee hours if they're trying to find out who can work, and you're looking at how many hours somebody already has. You're able to look under the employee hours and see all your employees and how many hours they've worked, scheduled employees, unscheduled employees. The exceptions is very big for our managers to be able to come in. This gives you a list of all the things that have gone on in the buildings that were an exception to the rule. If it has a schedule and if something happens outside that schedule, it puts it on this page. So that way, as your managers are managing and are about to leave, before they end their shift, they're able to come to this one tab and to make sure that everything was covered that happened outside the norm of what was supposed to happen on the shifts. They can also look at My Hours, and they would be able to log in and see their weekly hours or their daily hours and see how many hours they've worked and the hours that they did. They can also see their schedules. My PTO, if you allow them to see the personal time off or to request personal time off, they're able to log in and see what they've accumulated and used. Open shifts. This is something that if there is any shifts out there that need to be filled that have not been filled, they can request those shifts from here and ask to have and fulfill that shift that needs to be taken care of. And they can save their credentials once they get logged in one time so that the facial recognition and the fingerprint recognition works, so they don't have to log into the app every single time by typing in manually usernames and passwords. That's a quick, brief overview of the ExpressTime Mobile App for your managers and supervisors. Stay tuned for the next. We will be sharing what the employee benefits comes from the mobile app. Today I'd like to show you the employee view for the mobile app. Today, whenever you log in as an employee into the application from the App Store, it is very beneficial for your employees. It's very simple to use, and it's giving them good information while they're out in the field. First off, when they log in, they will come straight to the clock in and out page. They're able to, simply by clicking on their schedule that they see in front of them, they can clock in and out of their buildings. If it's an unscheduled service or a drive time, they have that capability as well. All this is taken care of through the geofencing, through the database in ExpressTime. When you click on it, you can say to confirm to clock into this building, and you say yes. It checks the coordinates, it checks your GPS, it finds where you are, it lets you know if you're in or out of range, and it will clock you in or out of that schedule. I can also, as an employee, come over to the buildings and I can look at my building. I can find out address to my building through the maps. I can see the task schedules. By clicking on task schedules, it will show me on what day that I'm supposed to be doing what trash, what cleanup, whatever it might be. It tells you on that day and how often you're supposed to be doing it. Also, I can order supplies from here, and it will give me a list of approved supplies, or if there's no approved supplies, it just sends me a list of, I can type in what supplies I am needing for this building that I am in particularly. Under the More tab, I can see my hours, I can see my schedules, I can see PTO time off request if my employer allows me to see. I can see the open shifts that I can request those open shifts if my employer allows me to see that as well. This is something that we have seen useful for our employees to be able to have the benefit of clocking in and out very quickly and getting straight to their job